I'm well, thanks, Nathan. Yourself? Yeah, it's always good to have a bit of a joke at somebody else's expenses. Never let that go to waste. He's doing quite well. He's sitting on the front here for considering that this will be a mix of A, B, and C. I'm gathering. Yeah, a bit of a challenge, especially if the A grade group is really and to the Bs, the top end B riders, if they've really turned their minds into trying to go hard start, then we can. It makes it quite a hard start. Yeah, that last little climb is always a tough little climb at the best of times. So after five laps at a pretty quick pace is going to test the legs. I'm just looking at just looking at the stats. I think it's 640 meters is that Libby Hill at 6%. Yeah. So whoever can hold a bit of power in their legs for that last little bit, they just got to go. Basically, that last 640 meters, just got to give it everything that they've got. I think. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yeah, I think about that, and I think there's quite a bit of it. Like I'm looking at the 3D map thing on Swift Insider here, and after you go off those 5 laps, it's actually a downhill run into that climb. So you've got a bit of a chance to perhaps get a bit of a recovery going in before you hit that climb if you can sort of use that wisely, I guess. Yeah, I reckon. I think so, but they may say that till about the third, I don't know, fourth lap, fifth lap, or something like that. So they might sort of cruise around for the first three, and then the last two just before that, I think, really start to push things out. But they, yeah, but I would have thought maybe it might work to most people's advantage, but then again, you got a lot more competition there, I guess, for the end result in terms of having like not a sprint finish, but a uphill finish. So it's funny that they've this sprint segment here that we're just going through now on the screen. They've all seemed to have really stepped it up, just going through that as you've pointed out. So maybe they are just yep. Yeah, he's doing quite well. So power wise, he's hanging in there. He told me he was going to ride with the Venge with discs tonight, and I think his strategy was to go as aero as he could to hold as much draft as he could for basically as long as he can. So I think that's why. Why he's gone with the. Well, I'm interested to see how he goes tonight. I mean, there's quite a few trons in there, and certainly they seem to be holding the same pace as the discs that are rolling around with them. So, and I think the Tron will probably be a better bet at that climb at the end than the disc. So, if you can, I reckon maybe the Tron, if you can hold with the pack, that might pay you dividends at the end result, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I've been toying with the Venge, but not going with a full disc, just going with like a semi-aero type of setup. But then I've been weighing between that and the Tron, I guess. As is, you look at the course, it is flat bar that one climb, and the one climb is only 140 meters. Yes, I don't know. It may still be quite an aero rig type of course. Yeah. Yeah, he does. It's a pity he doesn't have Swift source on here. One of the things I like about that, I think I watched a video with Anna, whatever her name is, that does that other streaming stuff. And she was talking about the distance that you need for a brake to stick. And the magic number that they sort of alluded to was about 15, 16 seconds, I think. So yeah, so that's one. So looking at the packs on the side, with once it blows out, like think if it's about 5 seconds, I think okay, that's still achievable gap to close down. It'll be a lot of work, but you could do it. But as soon as that starts to blow out closer to that 15-second mark, I know that group's gone, and I've got to then reassess where I'm at. So where Dan was just sort of sitting there, and you can see that group's now really just disappeared from view in front of him. That would be the sort of thing. Yeah, so that's where I'd be saying, okay, well they're going to be holding a fair bit of speed. That ship has sailed. What's my next kind of strategy now? And you got those two other guys with us. So if I was Dan, I'd be trying to not necessarily work in, but not working with these guys. Do a couple of turns or shorter turns on the front to at least look like you're doing something. But then try and get them to do a lot of the work. Yeah, if it were me, I would sort of basically still keep going. If like in the next half lap, both guys were sort of prepared to go to the front and still maintain the speed that we were riding at, I'd be still pushing along and working with those two if that rolling turns came through. But if I sort of dropped off the pace to let them come through, and then the pace backed off a bit, knowing then that they weren't prepared it's really dig in for it, then yep. And then probably reroute with the group behind. Yeah. If I felt really fresh and really great legs, then maybe I might just throw caution to the wind and just try and time trial it out and just go, okay, well, if you want to hang on, but I'm going to keep pressing on. So sometimes I feel like, if I'm feeling really good, I'll give it a shot. Yep. And just see whether they can hold my will. It's a pity there's not like a couple of little rises. Yes. Because if there's a couple of little rises, sorry. Yeah, it is. No. If there was a little kick, then that's where you could. Yeah, if there was a little kick, then that's where you could potentially, just to see whether, if you were feeling really good, whether they were feeling, as good, you could just try and push them a little bit on those kicks and just, go out a little bit and see whether they were prepared to try and really reel you back in or just let you go. And then you could perhaps like you say, because this is pan flat, it's like, it's even Stevens. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't got the yeah, right. I'm just yeah. Yeah. Paul Brownbill, I'm just looking on Swift Power. He is a C grade rider, but join in with the B grade group there. You're right. Yep. No, you're fine. I'm there. I should have pre-ordered all these screens up, mate, ready to just wrap off this. Yeah. You're the whole tour one, don't you? Yes. Paul Brownbill, he's number 2. Yep, you're right. You're spot on. Yeah. Normally you would, but that website seems to be throwing up a bit of a that's all right. We great. Yeah, so if they were doing that, I mean, if I was Dan, I'd just be easing off a bit too, and then making them. Yeah. So looking at his results, he's got first place in Chasing San Remo, with a massive 500 points off that. That was a huge. Yeah. If you can jag a first place like that puts you so much ahead of the the rest of the field. He got second place in the general classification for the Chasing the Azure series. Got 450 points there. Second on stage 6, first on stage 5, fourth on stage 4, second on stage 2, second on stage 3, I think. 17th on the time trial, and first on Chasing Bianchi. So he is in fine form. He certainly has. And if I suppose this is where, if you knew your riders and knew things like that, Dan should have, if he'd done his homework, and this. Like this series, I'd be sitting on his wheel. Yeah. Yeah. So if I was Dan, I'd be dropping back into this bunch and trying to recover some of that energy that I've just spent on that last lap pulling those two guys around, and make the rest of these guys. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I think he just needs to work on his strategies a little bit more. I think sometimes he just thinks that he's going to perhaps ride these guys off his wheel, which he probably could. As you say, I reckon he's got the power to actually take these guys a lot on one-on-one. What he needs to do is just go sit back in here, make them use all their energy, and then, as you say, yeah, really then hammer them on the climbs and stuff like that. Mhm. Oh, I think there's a great. Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. I mean, you look at when we did the Azure series, which we did 7 stages on that, and that was back to back. That was hard work every day, and then I didn't realise that you got those bonus points at the end of it. So still got Paul's results up here. He got 470 on top of all of his winnings in the other 7 stages. That is a massive amount of points, and then to get first place in the next, one dayer of 500. If you are a little bit like myself, where I'm getting placings like 10th, 13th, 14th, where you're not getting massive amounts of points, which is still a respectable position. But for me now to try and close the gap on a distant guy that's getting in that top 5 every week, I've got no hope. My only hope is, I guess, working on consistency and looking at the long plan and trying to do all 80 races, which is like a massive task. Yeah, and hope that they don't. That would be the only way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw the promo for that, but I haven't watched it yet. That's Anna. That's the one I was. That's the one yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'd have to. It'd be really interesting to actually sit down and do the maths and in this. So there's at the start they say there's 6 single day races in there, and each one of those is not always worth 500 points. They are slightly different depending on whether they're a tier 1 or a tier 2. If they're a tier 2 race, they're 300 points. If they're tier 1, they're 500 points. Yep. So it'd be worth. You're right.
All right. So, hey, Zwifty, can you hear me now? And Andrew, I'm assuming you can still hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear Swifty.
No, he's just texting in, and John Emerson is there too.
Hello, Swifty and John, if you can hear me.
So, he's just, I don't believe Nathan made a very valid point. Oh, well. Hey, John, can you hear me okay? Just doing a quick test with the live stream. Yeah, there he is. Yep. Sorry, guys. It was a last-minute stream, and I had to bring together another microphone. In fact, a bit loud. Okay, I'll bring that back a little bit. How's that? Is that better? John's saying that you bailed on him. Hello?
Me? For tonight?
I guess for tonight, yeah. Were you were going to ride? How's that level now, John? Is that okay? Were you going to ride with John tonight? Were you?
Well, I was going to do B grade tonight, yes, and I've had a pretty massive day today, and just wasn't prepared for this, I guess. So
right. Okay. Yeah.
I bit the bullet and went, "Nah, I'm not going to do that tonight." I just
pulled out.
Didn't have it in me, and then so then my options were either to ride like at the 5:30 time slot tomorrow morning, or the 11:30 a.m. time slot tomorrow, and I just thought, looked at the numbers in the pens for both of those, and the numbers are slightly better at 11:30. Doesn't mean I'm going to do any better, but there's less people there. So, and I get a little bit more of a sleep in, so I've changed tack on with the 11:30 tomorrow.
Well, I'm just looking now at the events to see what the numbers are for C grade tomorrow. Hang on, so John, I'm talking to John Emerson here. John, if Hutto bailed on you, why aren't you racing?
Yeah, good question.
Yes, good question. So I'm just scrolling down now through my iPhone, through the companion app. And I am looking for the event. Where is it? 5:30. Gosh, there's a lot of races on at 5:30. 666. There we go. Okay, so we've got 170 so far for tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. There's 72 in B grade, and we've got Sammy Lee's in that one. And then in C, we've got, here we go. So I've got a few challenges. I've got Christian Vuta, Ben Wisby, Anthony Tan. So these are all guys that are in that sort of that top 5, top 10 in C grade. So that is going to be a bruiser for me tomorrow, I think. And that's at 6 a.m. Melbourne time.
Yeah, mate, that's killer.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy. So John's saying he had 2 network dropouts this ride, so bringing up the rear. So he's in the ride.
Oh.
Yeah, but...
Not had a good start.
No, apparently not.
Well, I'm just doing some quick math here. Because that's what you do.
You are a teacher.
Yeah, I know. I've got the calculator out. Okay, so if you were to place first in all of the next lot of chasing series, so that's the
Spring Classics,
the Spring Classic, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that correct? I think
that's correct. Yep.
And there's a mixture of those. So some of those are, what do you call it? What I said before, tier 1, and some are tier 2. So some are worth 300 points, some are worth 500 points.
I think there's 2 that are worth 500.
Yeah. If you were to add all of those together, there's a maximum of 3,000 points that you could get for all of those if you were to come first place in every one of those classic Spring Classics.
Yep.
If you were to come first, and this is not including the bonus points, but if you did every stage of the pink, the yellow, and the red, so that would be the Giro, the Tour de France, and the Vuelta.
Yep.
Yeah. You get 4,860, not including bonus points.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is more there is more points in the multi-stage races. However, you've got to do everything.
Every one of them.
And you would have to, every one of them, you'd have to do well, and otherwise you're going to miss out on the bonus points at the end of that. So
I don't know. Is it worth doing all of it, or is it worth just picking?
Oh, that's 18 days back to back is a lot of riding.
Well, apparently, go ahead.
Haven't announced like the routes for those stages,
no.
So they're going to be if they're going to go trying to match it for the races that they are, they're going to be pretty brutal, I think.
Expect it, because when I was listening to the guy again, and I've got to look up his name, but he was saying that they're going to try and map the Tour de France, which is those 3 weeks, as closely as they can to the races they can get in Zwift. So absolutely expect some of these races could be potentially 180 kilometers in terms of the distance you got to do. So back to back every day.
Yeah, I can tell you now, if some of these stages are 180 Ks, they won't have Andrew Hudson on the start line. Anywhere
near it. I think we could get our niche just commentating on them.
Oh, hey, maybe. I mean, that's a long race.
Well,
180.
yeah, apparently. So he was saying that the whole idea of it was that you could cycle the same as the tour is going through, and so the same distance and the same elevation, all those sorts of things, whilst you're watching the tour. And he found out very quickly that no one really cared about watching the tour, and they turned the group rides into races. Mm-hmm. And so this is how this whole tour series has developed.
Yeah, okay.
Which is not surprising given that most of the group rides in Swift turn into races anyway. Well, especially when you're involved.
I don't know about that. It would be. I'll have to sit down and do a bit more maths on this a bit later on.
Yep.
So if you were to do the spring, going back on that, if you were to do the spring classics and the smaller chasing series like the one that we've already done, and bypassed all of the three main kickers, how many points you could possibly get out of that in terms of overall?
Well, I'd be really interested to see. Yeah, if you pick out the big day races, all the 500s, and just do those, how would it compare to, say, people like me who are going to suffer through trying to do as many races as they can and maybe finish in the top 10? So if you were to finish in the top 10, the points you get for that, how would that compare? So, and I dare say there's a big difference. I think if you were to cherry pick and prepare for the big tier 1 races, and especially if they're a longer distance too, because in Zwift, as we know, most of the events, most of the races are 30Ks if. So there aren't going to be a lot of people who are prepared to do 60, 70 plus kilometre races and be competitive as well. So I think that there's a lot to be said for cherry picking some of the bigger events and preparing for those, as opposed to slogging it out day in, day out and for 50 points a time.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on, I think. I mean, if you were to do the Spring Classics, the Yazua series that we've already done, chasing Bianchi, which is 300 points there. You let go of the chasing pink, so you ignore that and you recover and do some other rides to keep yourself up. And there's the Petite, which is only 9 stages long, and they're like 50 points a stage, but then you'd have bonus points on that, so that would be equivalent to that first one we did, and it would be a doable thing. Have your rest while the chasing yellows on, and you've got the chasing femmes, which I think is only open to the females. I don't think the guys.
Yes, it is. Yep, it is.
Then there's 1, 2, 3 one-day races for 300 to race to that chasing femmes. If you targeted all of those, leave the chasing reds, and then you got Lombardia at the end of it, another 500-point race.
Yep.
There's a lot of points in those sort of things that I outlined without doing those 3 main ones. I think the numbers in those main ones are not going to be massive. I can't see many people competing doing every one of those 18 stages.
Yeah, no, it's a long race. Like, it's a long series, and that's exactly what I was thinking when I was listening to the race director today. I'm thinking, well, have you really thought about some of this point scoring? Because I think there's going to be snipers who will come in and who can be competitive at those harder races, those distance races, especially if there's climbs, and snipe 300 or 500 points a race, and then go away and then come back. And what does it say to the other racers who are slogging in day out and getting 40 or 50 points or 80, 100 points a race? It's it can be a little bit defeating, and I don't know, maybe that is indicative of the Tour series, but we're not exactly professional riders, I guess.
No, I mean, what have you been averaging, like, position wise? Roughly about 4th in a lot of yours, haven't you?
Somewhere around there, yeah. And that's with a little bit of certainly the last race I did, which was the Tour, the Chasing San Remo. Choosing that last time zone for me to race in made all the difference. If that had been a bigger race, I think I might have dropped back a fair bit. And Christian Vuta, who is 6th on the general classifications, he finished 11th in that race, and so he's been finishing consistently 1st, 2nd, or 3rd for all of our races. So it just goes to show those kinds of races, with a different group of riders, can make it quite difficult. So I think I was a bit fortunate there. But even in the other races, though, they have been in the 6 a.m. races in Melbourne time. They've been super difficult, and I've got to admit, I was getting quite cranky by the end of it. I was like, oh, Jesus, I had to wake up again at 5 o'clock and prepare and get ready and do all that and stream it as well. Yeah, I was certainly over it by the end of it, that's for sure.
Fourth place in this Saxo race tomorrow. You're looking at around about 255 points.
Yeah. Can you, Andrew? Can you hear some background noise, or you?
Only like only a tiny bit, buddy.
We got some kids and toys in the hallway here. Oh, I've lost Andrew again. Hang on 1 second. What's happened? Oh, well, apparently he's first, and he's Badger. Who's that? Is that Honey Badger?
Badger.
Reza Honey Badger is currently smashing first. I didn't mean to drop off near him. Let's see if I can scoot back to Daniel. I'm not sure where he is. Let's just jump back a little bit. I know you can't see my screen, because that is a bit of a side effect of it's a bit of a side effect of Discord. Hang on, I'm just going to drop back. There we go. Where is he? There he is. Oh, stay still. There you go. Got you. There, he's back. So where are we now? We are, and I saw this happen before in someone else who was streaming while fan viewing a rider, and the distance and the name of who they were watching is overlapped. So I'm not sure why that's happening. But they're 20.
He's sitting about 20th B grade.
Okay, so you can see him on Zwift Power?
Yeah, I've just ticked over onto the live part.
Yep.
And they must be getting close to going on that. Oh, that must be the last lap.
Yeah, it's very close, yep.
Because it looks like the leaders are on the hill on their way to Libby Hill now.
Okay,
so he wouldn't be far off that. Nearly most of the riders are all past that last sprint segment, and then they're on that way down now.
So we see Dan here is sitting at 2.3, 2.2 watts per kilo on the front here. It's an interesting position for him to be in. Maybe because of the downhill, he's just rolling forward. Here we go. The rest of the...
He's a 3.0 average in watts at the moment, watts per kilo at the moment.
Yep.
Swift power overall.
Okay. Yep. So we're definitely... Oh, we've got a whole bunch of people leaving.
There's an A-grade rider from AHDR there in there tonight too.
Who's that?
Andrew Downey.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with Andrew.
No, neither am I. I'm just scrolling through the list.
Having a look at who's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna see if I can jump back into Zwift here and bring up, zoom out that map a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so they'll come up to the right-hander, and then they'll start making their way down to the cobbled climbs in Libby Hill. How do you reckon Dan's feeling at this point?
I'm buggered. He did send me a message on Messenger just a while back, and he said you would have got it as well. It said something about his start. No good on the start.
No good on the start. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw
was
that.
Surprised about that because he was in the back there for a while. So.
Oh, you're certainly sitting with
so
the A's and B's. Yeah.
Yeah. I just sort of said, stick him with this pack. I don't know whether he's ready. His icon hasn't moved, so I don't know whether he's read them or not. But basically, just sort of, stick him there and keep an eye on that brown bill guy. And if you can, follow him because obviously, if he's doing well on the standings, I'd be trying to stick on his wheel and follow him.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And so, where is good old brown bill? There he is. What's he? Keep clicking on the wrong thing. Where is he? There he is. Oh, no. Just trying to... Man, Zwift has to do a better job of being able to follow people. There we go. So, Dan... Is it Pete or Dan? What's brown bill? What's his first name?
Sorry. Paul.
Paul. So Paul looks like he's in the a polka dot kit. Wait for the view to change here. Yeah, so the green cap with the black and white polka dot. And it looks like he's on a carbon bike. He's not on a Tron. I wonder what he's on.
I'm just trying to find his name in the... Oh, yeah. So he's in the... Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, here we go. He's making a bit of a break for it.
Yeah, he's in C grade, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a C grader.
Well, because Dan's gone on... Isn't he gone up into B's?
Yes, he has, yes.
So, yes, he's going against...
Okay, so Dan's pushed off the front here. And Paul's trying to pick him up.
Oh.
No, they'll come back again. They'll come back again, yep. So I'm not sure what Dan's strategy here is at the moment, whether he's just trying to test the group or see if there's any, hanger-oners that he can...
Straight loose.
Yeah, exactly, yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the last 2 kilometres now, roughly speaking.
He's back on the front again.
Yeah, he
loves the front.
I was just thinking he's not using that grip a lot to his advantage, is he? He likes being on the front.
No, he'll be able to watch his stream back, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and have a look at it. And that's the weird thing, isn't it? I mean, I know when
expert commentary about it.
We're very insightful. I can guarantee you that. But that's the one thing I look at the rides I stream and I look back at them and I go, man, why did I do that for? And I think in the rides you just don't realize, especially when you're under the pump.
For sure, there are plenty of times where I've done that and I've looked back on stuff and gone, if I just pushed for that extra 10 seconds more, I was suffering. But if I'd gone for that extra 5 seconds or whatever. Yeah. I could have held that group, or I could have done that, or I could have done that, and you've just got to try and store that in the head, and then next time you're in that scenario or something similar to that, just go, yeah, come on, last time you did this, you regretted not doing that last time.
That's exactly it, yep. And it's those small climbs, I think, that do it for me. It's like, like a 4 or 5, like the Volcano Climb, Titans Grove, these ones where it's just enough to push you into the red, but not enough that you can sort of sit in and find a groove. You just got to keep yourself at that, that pain point. But and knowing that you could, if you held on for an extra 20 seconds, you would have been with that front group coming over, and it makes all the difference in a race. I can tell you that much.
For sure.
So we're going to come up. We're coming up towards that hairpin now.
If I was down, just sitting in that second row of riders here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in the back of the group. I'd just be sitting behind that first bit, so I could still pick up some draft. I certainly wouldn't be out the front like here.
No, not unless your strategy was going to be to smash
Yep.
it as you come around that hairpin.
Yep.
And at least you're going to shred a lot of the group off, and you might have 4 or 5 contenders that can go with.
Yeah.
And then at least you're in with a good shot of getting a good place. But it's going to be hard work. That's a good 4-minute effort. But in this case, I think the group's too big, and they're not going. Yeah, well, let's just see when they turn around the hairpin there if there's going to be any action.
First guy's already starting to finish now.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So literally, we've got a couple of maybe 2 or 3 minutes left.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing? I've got a rabbit called bananas.
On the rabbit. Here we go.
So this is where we're going to start to probably see a little bit of action.
Let's see how many watts he can still hold here.
Well, they're doing all right. I mean, he's doing 300, 320.
Yeah.
So whether he's sort of holding a little bit in reserve, I know that if I was pushing 300 watts here, I'd be well in the red.
Yeah, what is he about? It's a little bit high. Is that 3.3 or 3.2 there?
Well, he's at 3.3 watts per kilo, 3.6, 3.5, and they haven't really hit the climb proper yet. So they're going to start creeping up now, and here's the start of the climb.
Yeah.
So this will be where we're bound to see a little bit of argy-bargy.
You'll get those messages.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm getting... What's going on?
Oh, Adam. He's complaining about the racing at 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Because he's up next, isn't he?
Yeah. Come on, Dan.
All right, I might just quickly switch views.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Go back. There we go. Sorry. Yep. Oh, he's fallen off the back there, hasn't he?
Yes, he's got to work hard if he wants to get back in there.
And he's hit the featherweight, maybe a bit early, I would think. So he's really going to have to dig deep here if he wants to try and catch those guys back up. And he's pushing 350. Yeah, I think he's
buggered.
He's reached the end of his rope. Yep.
I mean, he's still pulling decent watts, but I think those other guys are just...
They've gone in for a full-on sprint.
Yep.
No, he's sat down.
Yeah, he's thought, nah.
Yep.
4.8.
So what's his live position at the moment? Can you see that there in Zwift Power?
He hasn't quite finished. There's about 5 guys in front of him that are still yet to go. Should refresh in a sec.
And there we go.
So
that's there we go. That's the recon of chasing Saxon. Saxon. Saxo, that's it. Chasing Saxo.
1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. About 19th, roughly.
19th. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Given that he hasn't been racing in B grade really consistently for the last few months. So, and I dare say it's pretty warm where he is. I know that some of the temperatures he's been having up there are in the high 30s. Yeah.
So he lives out in the outback, South Australia. So he's been in quite warm weather out there. So
absolutely. But it's good to see that his internet connection held up. He was a bit worried that his satellite connection might drop out.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear his reviews of our commentary tonight of his race.
Oh well, when he gets some good internet connection, I think you'll definitely have to have a look through it and critique our critique.
That's right. Well, this has been great fun.
Yeah, no, I've actually really enjoyed this. So my apologies to everyone who is going to watch this and realise why they couldn't hear me at the very start. It's because I didn't do my job properly and hobbled together a stream very quickly. But hey, no, Andrew, hey, mate, thanks for joining in at short notice. I know it's, what time is it where you live? It's almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's about 10 to 10 here.
Yep. And so you are doing this race at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
That is correct, yeah.
So in about 12 hours. So I've got to get prepped now because I will be back up and doing this in about 7 hours.
Yeah. So I don't know whether I'll be there to see you on the race. So good luck tomorrow
No, cheers.
morning, mate.
Yeah, thanks for your support.
I might get there at the last bit of it, and just to see you make the line. The glory part.
Yeah, the glory part. I don't know how much glory there's going to be. Given the numbers we've got in tomorrow's race, I think it's going to be... Look, if I can finish with the top 10, I think that's going to be a pretty good result. So we'll see how we go.
You know, are you doing the AHDR March Classics or whatever they're trying to cobble together at the moment?
No, I'm going to give that a miss. I think the chasing series is probably enough for me to focus on.
So what we could do like this as a bit of a thing, pick somebody in that one of those AHDR things and do a commentary, set it up properly if you want to do that.
Yeah, actually, that would be good fun.
Yeah, and we could maybe pick some of those rides and critique our.
Have a look at some of the guys that are in there and the girls. I know Michelle Spicer is in there as well. Ryan Spaturi and a few of the other guys. So certainly we should look at what they're doing and when they're doing it and actually do this more properly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, mate. I think we'll wind it up there. I've got to get this sorted out and get some sleep. But otherwise, hey, yeah, thanks very much. And anyone else who's been watching this and got a bit of fun out of watching this recon and the commentary, hit the subscribe button. Check out Andrew's channel on @HuddoAHDR on YouTube. Go give him a subscribe. He is full of all sorts of knowledge and fun facts. And we'll try and catch you in the next race.
You're too kind, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. All right, guys. Thanks very much.